Mudvayne is yet another band that is widely regarded as part of nu metal scene of early 2000s. But was Mudvayne really nu metal? Prior to the release of debut album LD50, the promotion of the band didn't even include pictures of band members. Instead, their music and logo were serving as promotional material. But Mudvayne's early colorful stage image is ironically what's left ingrained into the memories of their fans. The band began applying makeup when performing live after the release of their debut EP in 1997. Their look probably affected how they would be perceived throughout their career, and this image was certainly serving as first connection to nu metal scene and bands like Slipknot that have debuted just a year prior, because of which many comparisons would be made between two bands throughout their career, mostly unfavorable for Mudvayne. But it is in fact Mudvayne's image that helped the band publicize their debut album and got them noticed. The band adopted stage names, but unlike Slipknot for example, Mudvayne used makeup and their alter egos sparingly outside of their live shows, giving their interviews without makeup and without projecting any sort of alter ego, unlike Slipknot that lived their image both on and off stage. But for Mudvayne, their look was mostly something that made the live shows more exciting, and to an extent served as a sort of disassociation from their actual personalities, hence their nicknames. But music always came first, which led them to largely abandon that image after 2003. The debut studio album LD50 consisted of 17 songs, with several tracks surpassing a 5-minute mark. The entire album is over an hour long. These are not signs of an average nu metal band of the year 2000. Though longer songs were more common in the early works of Korn and Slipknot, at this point the genre and its newcomers have become more formulaic in their composition, that was targeted at a mainstream audience, with simple chorus-verse, chorus song structures. Apart from the unusual length and song structures in some of their compositions, Mudvayne also used odd-time signatures, and during the songwriting process, the band members combined riffs with lyrics based on number symbolism. In connection to that, the band called the style of their music math metal.
See everybody going fucking mental.
Mudvayne's influences ranged from death and thrash metal to jazz fusion. And even though the band has been inspired by bands such as Metallica and Mötley Crüe among others, they claim that they were never directly influenced by metal bands. However, during the making of LD50, the band was greatly influenced by Stanley Kubrick's film 2001: A Space Odyssey. The album also features distorted audio clips voiced by American philosopher and psychonaut Terence McKenna, who died around the time of the album's recording. The overall theme of the album reflects and embodies ideas about the evolution of consciousness, transformation, and the risks involved in experimenting with things that can change a person's point of view, internally and externally. In the song Nothing to Gain, the lyrics were referring to Ed Gein, the infamous serial killer and grave robber. Guitar section of the song was revolving around number 9, which is a lunar number, referring to Ed Gein as a nocturnal creature. Themes and fascination with serial killers have also been a topic used in some of Slipknot's early material. Apart from that, LD50 was co-produced by Slipknot's Shawn Barclay. The album has been praised by some critics for its heaviness and technicality. Others criticized the effort by tying it to nu metal and claimed that the band was difficult to take seriously because of their stage image. Mudvayne's EP had a more raw and stripped down sound in comparison to their future releases, but hints of rap-like delivery by lead singer Chad Gray also served as a connection to nu metal in the early stages of the band. Guitar work of Greg Tribbett was very rhythm-oriented, with a lot of palm-muted riffs, though a lot of his work was quite technical in comparison to most nu metal acts. Original bassist Shawn Barclay had somewhat of a more traditional approach to his playing, in comparison to more technical Ryan Martini, who became Mudvayne's bassist in 1997. Matthew McDonough is the band's original drummer, who remained with Mudvayne up until the band broke up. He holds a respected place in the world of drumming for his signature drumming style. The band further expanded their LD50 sound in their sophomore album, The End of All Things to Come, using a more versatile range of sounds, dynamic moods, and vocalization. Mudvayne wrote the album's songs in less than a month, drawing inspiration from their self-imposed isolation during the songwriting process, and crafted a more focused and mature sound, which drew from jazz and progressive rock influences, as well as elements of death metal and thrash metal. The album's strong sales led it to being certified gold in 2003. The band also updated their stage image to bug-eyed extraterrestrials. However, the band would not maintain heavy makeup throughout the touring cycle for this album. In the music video and last single of the album, World So Cold, the band appeared completely without makeup for the first time. The song was also unusually light in comparison to their previously released singles. World So Cold served as a foreshadowing of what was next to come for Mudvayne. Most critics who praised the album saw it as a more mature output and a more user-friendly one than their debut release, but as always, there were also quite a few mixed and negative reviews by professional critics. Before heading to the Plant Studios in Sausalito, California to record their third studio album Lost and Found, the band spent time with producer Dave Fortman in pre-production. Though the album was written in isolation as their previous effort, the band dedicated 4 months for writing the material this time around. During the promotion of Lost and Found, Mudvayne completely dropped their makeup routine, instead opting for plain black outfits and occasional eyeliner. The band's response to many questions about makeup or its lack thereof was, the band was never about the makeup, music always came first. Band members also dropped the use of their pseudonyms. Mudvayne produced 4 music videos for each single released, which is a more common practice in the mainstream medium. 3 out of 4 singles were also more radio-friendly than anything Mudvayne released previously. Instead of opting for heaviness, the band aimed for a sort of ballad, hard rock anthem approach, continuing where World So Cold from previous album left off. Single Happy was the most radio-friendly effort by the band up to that point. It peaked at number 1. The single selection gave a feeling that this was an intentional move by the band to invade mainstream, and it worked, as it gained many new fans for the band. However, Mudvayne did not lack in heaviness with their single Determined, which was praised by many critics, earning a nomination for Best Metal Performance at Grammy Awards in 2006. The band and critics seem to have different opinions on what this album represented sonically. Mudvayne saw it as a return to their debut release, which was more raw in comparison to their more polished sophomore effort. Critics, however, see it as a move to a more mainstream-friendly sound. Lost and Found generally received mixed reviews, with score of 46 on Metacritic. Positive reviews praised the band's natural progression into prog rock realm and the use of melody without losing any of their grit. Most negative and mixed reviews pointed out the lack of versatility and creativity, suggesting that the band is outdated. Regardless of the critical response, the album had major success in the US, debuting at number 2 and being certified gold shortly after. It has sold about 1 million copies worldwide as of August 2014 and is the band's most successful album to date. Lost and Found was the last commercially successful release by Mudvayne, and really the last album that could be related to nu metal, which is why I will be stopping here for today. But in the next episode of Rise and Fall of Nu Metal, we will have a look at Mudvayne's final 2 albums and their breakup. Subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to be notified when I will premiere the next video, so we could hopefully chat live when the video premieres. If you like to stay up to date with what is going on in rock and metal world and like documentary style videos like this one, this channel is for you. I have already covered bands such as Korn, Deftones, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Slipknot, Periphery, Marilyn Manson, Meshuggah and quite a few others. So consider checking out older videos on my channel as well. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
Thank you very much.